Hello, this is Dr. Ray Ramirez from Lakeview Veterinary Clinic, where we're helping your pets live the best life possible for as long as possible. And we're filming this during the Christmas season, but you may be watching it another time. But what we're going to talk about is introducing your new cat or kitten or new puppy or dog to your household, assuming you have some other pets. If you don't have any other pets, you don't need to worry about this part. Probably go to some of our other videos where we're talking about potty training and litter box training and things like that. But we're going to start with our little kitty, introducing him to the adult cat in the household. So we're not wrestling with each other and everything like that. Okay? So first thing you want to do is get a separate room for the new guy. Okay, so the resident cat gets everywhere in the house, but the new guy just has his own little territory with his own food bowl, water bowl, and his own litter box. Okay? Usually I like either a bedroom or bathroom because they're relatively small, and so you can go in there and the kitty's not scared, overly scared with everything, and you're going in there fairly frequently so we can interact with our kitty, because we're not in there for solitary confinement. What we're doing is older cats can be very territorial, and they don't like newcomers hoarding in on their territory. So what we want to do is give some time for resident kitty to get used to new kitty in the house. So we bring new kitty in, and then you hang out in it back and forth, but they don't really interact with each other. How long do we do that for? Until, not a date, it's until resident kitty stops hissing at the door. Okay, so there'll be the door, there'll be the new kitty smells, and you will see your resident kitty hisses at the door. Now, how long that takes will vary by kitties. We've done this several times in our own house. We've had some times where resident kitty, by the end of the first day, he stops hissing, and then he's kind of curious, well, what's underneath there? We've had other ones where it's been almost 3-4 days, even a week, before resident kitty stops hissing every time he walks by the door. Okay? So that's phase one. So once we've got that done, and resident kitty isn't hissing, then step two is what I like to call supervised visitation. So this is where, when you are home, we can open the door so that new kitty can go out and explore, and resident kitty can kind of even go in and see what's going on. Okay? And this goes on. We don't force anything. We let them kind of come to terms or whatever, and probably what will happen is new kitty will be like, oh, play with me, and resident kitty will be hiss, 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 bad at him. Did you see that? Just on cue, too. Isn't that cool? And that may go on, again, depending on the situation. Again, the one I mentioned where by the end of the day the resident kitty stopped hissing, by the end of the second day, they were kind of interacting with each other and playing with each other. It helped that our resident kitty was only about 1.5 years of age at that time. The one that I mentioned before where it took almost a week, the resident kitty was about 10. So he liked his territory. He didn't like any little interlopers coming in either. Okay? So this second stage of supervised visitation, so at bedtime and when you're gone at work, keep them separate, close the door again so that resident kitty gets a break, new kitty gets a break. Sometimes it's new kitty that's super scared. So that way everybody gets a break. And we do that until you start seeing them grooming each other. Okay? Not necessarily interacting, because sometimes it's hard to tell if this type of thing is playing or trying to beat each other up. Okay? So grooming each other is really the easiest way to be able to tell whether they're used to each other. So once that supervised visitation is done, where they're grooming each other and relaxed, then we can combine things. So then we can open the door all the time. Usually we can combine water dishes. You always want at least one more litter box than the number of cats you have. So in this household here, we would need 1, 2, 3 litter boxes. Obviously these cats don't actually need litter boxes, but you know what I mean. So if you've got 2 cats, 3 litter boxes. If you have 4 cats, 5 litter boxes, okay? And especially important is if you've got different levels of the house that cats have access to, at least make sure there's a litter box in each level of the house, can be very helpful. The other thing too is if you have your litter boxes right next to each other, in cat think that's just one litter box. You and I may think that's 3 different litter boxes, but cat think is just one. So maybe just separate them across the room if it's like in your utility room. Give some physical space so the cats realize it's a separate litter box. Okay? So, and that way you can have a nice, relaxed atmosphere for the rest of their kitties' lives. Again, this can take some time. We don't want to rush it, but that way they'll be able to integrate themselves much better together. The other thing that can be very helpful is if you have different levels for cats to be on. Cats, much more so than square footage, they like different levels. You probably notice they're on the back of your chair, on the sofa, doing all sorts of things. If you check on the internet, there's some great little skywalks and some cool things like that as well, that if you're handy you can build those. The cat condos are great. So, and this one's already gone on long enough, so I'm going to talk about adult cats in our next video. So again, this is Dr. Ray Ramirez from Lakeview Veterinary Clinic, helping your pets live the best life possible for as long as possible. And if you have any questions about things like that, see a regular veterinarian. And if you don't have a regular veterinarian, we would love to see you at Lakeview.